If your Google Search Console or your client's Google Search Console looks like a disaster with the rankings and impressions just tanking, well, you're not alone. This is one of the craziest Google updates that I've ever seen. And today I'm going to talk about it. Is SEO dead? No. Are SEO rank trackers and maybe some other SEO tools dead? Possibly, but that's a topic for another conversation. If you're new here, hello, my name is Bruce. I've been doing SEO and digital marketing and affiliate marketing since 2015. I've helped small, medium, and large businesses make more money by having their websites show up at the top of Google searches. I love this stuff. And if you would like to get on a video call with me and have me look at your website and your business and see how you can grow it by having it show up at the top of Google searches, you can reach out to me on Clarity. I will leave a link below. Now let's get on with the topic of today's video. Okay, so this is what I've noticed in a lot of my Google Search Consoles. I'll show you, I took several screenshots. I'm not in the actual Search Console because I can't show my sites, and I don't know how to do editing to blur stuff out. So one thing you want to know, I took off clicks, I took off impressions, and I've just never looked at the average position. That's never been a useful metric to me. But in trying to figure out what's going on, I started looking at it and it really surprised me. So what you can see here is just a dramatic tanking of impressions in Google search. And something I've noticed also, I have several of these sites hooked up to my Ahrefs account, and they have like a webmaster tools, and they show you what you're ranking for keywords wise. And on all my sites, the amount of keywords I'm ranking for has gone way down. I don't have a screenshot to show you, but on all the sites that's happened. But what hasn't really moved too much is the positions 1 through 10 and then 11 through 20. So the first 2 pages or so, those rankings haven't fluctuated very much, but I've lost a lot of rankings in the lower, way farther back pages of the top 100. So this thing here in Search Console, this is a pattern I've seen. You might see this in some of your Search Consoles. So the impressions go way down, but the average position skyrockets. I've never paid attention too much to the average position, but right about the same time that the impressions, so this is the Google update right here. And what this did was there's this little n/, it's this weird series of letters and numbers, which basically the scrapers have used for rank tracking to see the results of the other top 100 that's not on the first page. And Google made some update that you can't use that. I don't know, it's very confusing and I'm not exactly sure, but that broke basically all the rank trackers. And at the same time, part of that update was to so I guess a bunch of the impressions you were getting before, I'm guessing here, were from bots, from rank trackers, which I know a lot of the internet is just bot traffic, but holy smokes. Okay, so this is one of my sites, and for these I did 6 months, so you can really see that's not usual for this site, right? That's a pretty big drawdown in impressions and a huge jump in average position, whatever that means. This site's a little different. I'll come back to this site. Here is another site. As you can see, I installed a Search Console on this site the end of July, so it doesn't have 6 months of data. But this site has been around since 2020, I think, maybe 21. And I just now hooked Search Console up to it. But anyway, dramatic drop in impressions and an increase in the average position, whatever that means. So that's the Google update. So if you're seeing something similar, you lost probably a bunch of bot impressions, not real people impressions. Here's another one. dramatic drop in impressions and a boosting in the average position. Here we are on another site, dramatic, huge. I mean, this one's crazy. And on all these, I took the clicks off just so it would be cleaner, because with another line here, it gets a little confusing. So impressions just freaking plummet, and average position freaking skyrockets. Yeah, so that's me looking at all this stuff being like, what in the world's going on? And then finally, I have this site. Now this site I think maybe did actually tank, because as you can see, the impression, this is a site that I had online, but like I stopped working on it in like 2021 or 2022. And then I just decided like in April to start working on the site again. This is my water sports site. It was my first affiliate site, but I've done a little bit of stuff to it, and that very little bit of stuff caused, the site to respond well, but then it tanked and the average position did not increase here. And so this is the only one where I drew it out 16 months as far as the Search Console data would show. And so like this is when I started working on my site again. It was going correctly, and then it got hammered in this update with no bounce in average position. So this site, the traffic is down. The other sites, the traffic's kind of the same in terms of clicks to the website. But this one, the clicks and the total impressions are down. So I just wanted to show you an example of a site that may have actually lost a bunch of traffic. Why, I'm not sure, but it coincided with this update. Will it come back? I don't know. It's still early days. But I just wanted to show you this example is different from the other examples that I showed you. So what does this all mean? Well, if you're seeing those drops in impressions and a spike in average position, now I have a very small sample size of just a handful of websites that I showed you. But if you see that, you're probably seeing what a bunch of people are seeing. So that's like a removal of bot impressions, I guess. How do you explain this to clients? I mean, just be straightforward. Be like, this is one of the craziest updates ever. If the clicks aren't down too much, if the actual traffic isn't down too much, explain that. And then just explain that these impressions, your rank tracking tools, I don't know how that's going to work in the future. But yeah, the bot traffic is way down. Bot impressions are way down. I don't know about bot traffic, but bot impressions. It gets crazy. I have some sites that are still getting a ton of bot traffic, bot clicks. It's crazy. But yeah, so that's what I'm seeing. What am I doing? I'm in wait and see mode. I'm still building links to some of my sites. They're still showing up in Google search results. There is a lot of craziness going on. I'm not pretending to tell you I know exactly what's going on. Mostly I'm in wait and see mode. But I just wanted to share that with you, because if you're seeing huge drop in impressions and a spike in average position, then that is this update. And just wait it out. I'd be skeptical of anyone who's like, oh, this is exactly what's going on. I'm sure there are people who have a much better idea of this than I am. I'm just some regular guy who works with this stuff every day. Anyway, those are my thoughts. If you have any questions, please leave them below. I'll definitely answer you, because answering these questions might help me figure out what's going on and how to proceed. But yeah, if you leave a comment or something, I will answer you. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. If you thought this video is terrible and I'm way off, please give me a thumbs down so I can do better. If you would like to speak to me on a video call, I will leave the link below. And thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next video.